What is your American dream?
I'm from China, and my American dream is to do the works I intended to do in this interesting place and communicate with other people from all over the world.
I'm from India. My American dream is to enjoy this inclusiveness and freedom of America and have fun while it lasts.
I'm from New York, and my American dream is for everyone to be able to make the most of themselves.
I'm from Belgium. The American dream for me, for living in New York, would be ideal. Have a house that looks nice but is not too expensive, and work in Manhattan, have a major salary, to have a bit of money at the side for health insurance, because you never know, you might get into trouble.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? Jill is yelling 2-1.
Yeah.
We were talking about movies.
Right.
Jonathan and I.
We always talk right before.
Right before.
She'll be over it.
Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. Yo, how you doing?
I'm feeling good.
How's the subways doing? Slow. The subways are slow today, huh?
Yeah, and crowded.
Crowded and slow.
Yeah, one was too crowded, so I was like, I'm gonna let that one go and get on the next one. It was
I was on the
sad.
subway today. I had to go uptown. Mm-hmm. It was also extraordinarily slow.
Yeah, I don't know
what happened today.
Right.
How's everything else?
Everything is good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good, feeling great. How are you feeling?
Fabulous.
You're looking fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Handkerchief.
Let me tell you something. Compliments get you much further than insults.
Yeah, this is true.
All right. I mean, if you said to me, for example, you're not looking so good today,
Oh,
Brad.
no.
I don't know if I would have been so happy with you, but you said, you know what, you're looking good.
No, you are.
Thank you very
You
much.
are.
That put a smile on my face.
Good.
Let's see if we can put smiles on people's faces
Absolutely.
here.
I'm sure we can.
All right. Dion Reed, squat up. How are you? Sandra Rose Stoddard, squat up. It's apple pie. Coming in here with a full pie a la mode.
A la mode? No, I need it with some ice cream.
I'm waiting for It's Apple Pie to be It's a la mode.
Oh.
A la mode. A la mode. Jessica Kalimi, squat up. Dion Reed, squat up. Nicola Wright, how are you? Lisa Bling Rose, squat up to everybody. Anita Young Elder, squat up. I said Dawn Harriet and Dion Reed, Dembasau. I see you, Carol Anderson, the Tiger, Marge Higgs. Marge Higgs says, by the way, yo, being nice to me also could get you a salary increase or a big bonus. Marge Higgs, that Jonathan, very smart man. I'm sure that's what he was thinking, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Shan Smith said, hi, Brad, squad family. Denise Johnson, squad up, Ja Love. Dembasau, double fisting. Azila Strokes, excuse me, with a pre-schmooze question of the day. Me and my husband just got married. I've overstayed my visa. What are the paperwork I need to submit? You need to submit an adjustment application. It's an I-485, I-130, I-130A, I-864, I-765 for your work permit, I-131 for your travel documentation. I assume you entered on a legal visa. You submit a copy of your visa, your I-94 entry arrival record, proof your husband's a citizen, if either one of you were divorce decrees, if either one of you are widowed, a death certificate of a former spouse, and with the affidavit support, your husband needs 3 years tax returns, a job letter, and a bank letter. Hopefully he can support you 125% above the poverty level. You need to take a medical examination, submit it within 2 months of filing your adjustment application. It has to be done within 2 months of filing your adjustment of status application. Make sure that you are fully vaccinated or you will not get a completed medical exam.
That was some words in there.
Those were some words in there, right?
Yeah.
And Jamie Barra wants to know if I could bring out the 8-ball today. It's his favorite part of the show. I only bring out the 8-ball if somebody asks me a question to predict the future.
Yeah.
Okay, because I cannot predict the future. But the 8-ball does a pretty good job of predicting the future.
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny. Like nobody's ever called back and said the 8-ball was right.
Well, wrong.
Or wrong. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's ever come back.
I want somebody to call back like, yo, the 8-ball was right.
But I'm telling you, it is right because nobody has ever called and said the 8-ball is wrong.
This is true.
Right?
This is true.
The 8-ball has always been right so far. All right, take it over, Yo-Yo.
All right, squad, you already know what time it is. It is time for you all to start sharing because we're going to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines, including the news that Senate Democrats are now signaling they may be willing to overrule the Senate Parliamentarian in order to ensure an immigration proposal which would provoke work permits and deportation protection is in President Biden's Build Back Better bill.
It will provide for work permits.
What did I say?
You will not provoke a work permit.
Oh, provide
a work permit.
I was like, something didn't sound right. But we will be getting randy and spicy today because it is Wednesday Hump Day news, and we're going to be talking about Austrian brothel that is offering vouchers for vaccinations.
And of course, you can always call us at 1-800. And of course, you can always call it. What? And of course, you can always call us at 1-800-529-5465. The number is scrolling on the bottom of your screen. That is the number to call to get on our show. If you call right now, you will get on our show. If you wait a little later, a lot of times, most of the times, almost every time, our lines are already locked and loaded. You can also call that same number scrolling at the bottom of our screen to reach out to the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, in which I am the president, if you'd like to make a consultation with us or speak to us off of the air. A lot of times I mention this, I want to mention this again, a lot of times people say in the middle of the show, hey, how do I reach you? The number's scrolling at the bottom for 2 straight hours. Just read.
Yeah.
And with that, and later in the show, by the way, I'm going to be speaking with Steven Garza, the breakout star of Apple Plus's 2021 Emmy-winning documentary, Boy State.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what he has to say. Well, I know what he has to say,
Well,
but interesting to see what everybody else thinks of what he had to say. And you ready to start schmoozing?
Let's schmooze, y'all.
So I think the biggest secret that's not out yet, that everyone seems to know, what is the Parliamentarian going to do with Plan C? Seems even the Democrat senators know what the Parliamentarian is going to do with Plan C, and that is
Deny it.
Deny it. Now, some Democrats are already speaking publicly about overruling the Senate Parliamentarian, Elizabeth McDonough, who has not ruled yet, but we know what's going to happen.
I figured. I said this too.
Now, she's expected very shortly to rule on whether the Democrats' third immigration proposal, which is the parole for those who were here before January 1st, 2011, and returning over 400,000 unused green cards to the visa waiting list, which would substantially reduce the huge backlogs of people waiting for their green cards. Most people who have been watching this, and from what I have been reading, I've been watching, and it appears that Elizabeth McDonough, although she has not ruled yet, we are not optimistic that she will say that Plan C. That's just a random human being on Facebook. Why would you? Oh, that was Elizabeth McDonough calling us.
She's calling you.
No, that's not what I was talking about, Jill. So, somebody was just randomly calling me.
Elizabeth is calling you.
Maybe it was Elizabeth McDonough. Most people believe that it's going to be turned down. Now, in the past, most Democrats have said overruling the Parliamentarian. No, they're not going to do it. Now, there is momentum building for the Senate Democrats to overrule the Parliamentarian and put in maybe Plan A, maybe Plan B, maybe Plan C, maybe all 3 plans. Who knows?
Wow.
Now, for them to overrule the parliamentarian, they need all 50 Democrats. There's 48 Democrats, 2 who caucus with the Democrats who are unaffiliated, all 50, plus Kamala Harris to break a tie. Then Plan A, B, or C, or maybe Plan D will pass as part of the budget resolution. Then the Republicans are going to say you did not follow the rules. And then it is a simple majority to determine what the rules are. So then there would be a second vote. 50 Democrats, Kamala Harris breaking the tie, and now they have legally put in Plan A, B, C, or perhaps even a Plan D
why didn't they do that
into
in the
the
first
budget
place?
resolution, because not every Democrat wants to overturn the parliamentarian. Now, Senate Majority Whip Richard Durbin, a longtime proponent of immigration reform, said he would support, he has come out publicly, he said he would support overruling the parliamentarian if she rules against their latest proposal. He said, I'd vote for that. I hope it doesn't come to that. Now, it has been considered a long shot, but now many Democrats, including Durbin, say that it is possible that it's going to happen. And the reason why it's possible it's going to happen is there are a lot of Democrats, both in the Senate, in the House, as well as people just in the party, who have been fighting for immigration reform for over 20 years. The last time there was a major law change that helped, not hurt, helped immigrants was when Bill Clinton was the president of the United States, when they extended Section 245I, and that allowed millions and millions of immigrants who otherwise would not have been eligible to adjust their status to do so by paying a penalty fee of $1,000. That was the last time a law passed that actually helped people. Now, disregarding the parliamentarian's decision would require at a minimum the support of, as I said, all 48 Democrats, the 2 independents. Now, Richard Durbin, who said he would vote in favor of scrapping whatever the parliamentarian said, he's responsible for actually getting all of the Democrats to vote in favor. He's the one who keeps track of the Democratic votes. And he says he doesn't know if all 50 would vote, but his gut instinct is that it is a very close call that all 50 Democrats plus Kamala Harris, should the parliamentarian overrule and say that Plan C should not be part of a budget process, they believe that there is a close shot, according to Richard Durbin, who is in charge of counting Democratic votes in the Senate. It is a close call that they will be able to overrule the parliamentarian. Senator Alex Padilla, Democrat of California, he's on record saying, whatever it takes to get this done. For Democrats as a whole, I think as time goes on, as negotiations continue, it's increasingly clear how important and urgent this is. Senator Robert Menendez, also on record, says that he's leaving all options open on a pathway to citizenship in terms of overruling the parliamentarian. I hope it will not come to that, and I'll wait for her final decision. Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat of New York, is on record saying the Democrats have a trifecta. We have the House, we have the Senate, we have the presidency, and if we want to do it, we will.
Ooh.
Now, many of these advocates say that the deportation protection is not enough. They want a pathway and amnesty. So if you're going to overrule the parliamentarian, they want it all.
Right.
They want Plan A, Plan B,
Wow.
and Plan C. Now, Democrats warn that any attempt to overrule the parliamentarian obviously is going to be very complicated. Even if all the Democrats were to agree to ignore her decision, Durbin indicated it's not yet known whether Republicans would be able to strike the provisions with a simple majority by picking off a single Democrat. So in other words, every time there has to be a vote to strike something off of the bill, because the Republicans can now say, I want to make a vote to strike something off of the bill. If all 50 Republicans say they want to strike it and they get one Democrat to come over, then it would come off of the bill. So if it actually happens, you're going to see the Democrats approve it, and then you're going to see motions by Republicans to strike sentence by sentence things out of the bill and hopefully pick off a Democrat. So it could get complicated, but I think there is a possibility it could happen.
Wow.
You know, the key is Senator Manchin in West Virginia.
Yeah.
He has to basically be, I don't want to say bribed.
Because isn't he the one who said he would do it if the parliamentarians agreed to it?
Right, but he would not if he wouldn't.
Right.
But everything in politics is horse trading.
Mm. So
bribing,
if they give him something,
bribing.
something.
So they got to give him something.
He looks like he could get bribed.
Yeah, well, not bribed, literally bribed. But in other words, the bribe would be, we're going to give you something that you never thought you would be able to get for West Virginia. Mm-hmm. In return for
your vote.
That is
bribing, isn't it?
Well, that's called politics. Bribing would be, here's $1 million, vote for it. Meanwhile, Facebook was sued today for $150 billion.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's no longer Facebook, by the way. They're called Meta. And they were sued for inciting violence against the Muslim ethnic group, now I can't pronounce it. I apologize. I was pronouncing it fine before, right? The Rohingyas.
Yes.
Which is a Muslim group in Myanmar. Mm-hmm. And lawyers filed a class action lawsuit Monday in California against Meta, saying that Facebook's arrival in Myanmar helped spread hate speech, misinformation, incitement to violence that amounted to a substantial cause and eventual perpetuation of the Rohingya genocide. What's with us reading today?
I know, right? Provoke.
Yes. Now, Facebook said in a statement Tuesday, it's appalled by the crimes committed against the Rohingya people in Myanmar and has built a team of Burmese speakers and invested in technology to take action. However, the Rohingyas, just for fact-based, they're a Muslim ethnic group. They were forced to flee persecution and violence in Myanmar, started in 2017. An estimated 1 million Rohingyas are now living in refugee camps in neighboring Bangladesh. 10,000 have ended up in the United States. In 2018, UN human rights experts are investigating attacks against the Rohingya, said Facebook had played a substantial role in spreading hate speech. More than 10,000 Rohingyas have been killed. More than 150,000 were subject to physical violence. The lawsuit says Facebook's algorithms amplified hate speech against the Rohingya people, and the company didn't spend enough money to hire moderators and fact-checkers who spoke the local languages or understood the political situation. Now, Facebook arrived in Myanmar in 2011, arranged for millions of residents to access the internet for the first time, according to the lawsuit filed in California Superior Court. The lawsuit says the company did little to warn people about the dangers of online misinformation, did little to tell people about fake accounts, tactics employed by the military in its campaign against the Rohingyas. All I can say is this: if they are successful, then there's going to be a lot of copycat lawsuits.
I was about to say, there's going to be a lot.
And Facebook will no longer be Facebook.
What do you think they're going to do? They're probably going to they'll probably settle silently or something, right?
I don't know. I think Facebook's going to fight to the bitter end.
They're going to fight?
Yes, Zuckerberg's angry. Look at that one.
Look at it.
Yeah. So Pope Francis, he visited the Greek island of Lesbos on Sunday, speaking to several dozen migrants in a white tent. Pope Francis said the progress on immigration has been terribly absent, adding that it was an illusion to believe society could protect itself without offering help to those who knock at our door. Francis said, human lives, real people, are at stake. The Pope thanked the residents of Lesbos for welcoming refugees and walked along the streets of the camp lined with storage containers that housed the refugees. He said, please let us stop this shipwreck of civilization. He added that we are living in the era of barbed wire and walls, but COVID-19 pandemic has shown that we are all in the same boat. And do you know that there was a swarm of 40 earthquakes in the northwest of the United States?
What? No.
A swarm of them. That's
A swarm?
a swarm. That is how
I've
it
never
is
heard
being-
of a swarm
of earthquakes. 40 earthquakes in
What?
the northwest in the last 24 hours, between 3.5 to 5.8. You know what that means when there's like 40 tremors beforehand?
It's going to be a big
That
one.
means the big one's coming.
Yeah.
You know, the big one, to my belief, I'm not an earthquake person. Jill's yelling in my ear, keep reading
Right,
that.
I heard it.
Yeah.
Keep
reading.
reading.
That's not true. I believe it's true, though. My own belief. The series of quakes, and by the way, if it happens,
Of course. We know, Brad. We know.
then I win. The series of quakes, which began early Tuesday morning and continued into today, were all clustered around 250 miles west of the coast town of Newport, Oregon. The fault line responsible for the quakes is the Blanco fracture zone. And what has been most impressive about this week's quakes is the swarm has included at least 9 tremors reaching a magnitude between 5 and 5.8, with the majority occurring at a shallow depth of only 10 kilometers. Fortunately, nothing this week has triggered a tsunami. However, the activity is heightened concerned level for some, as the region is among the most earthquake-prone areas in North America. Though the epicenter of this week's swarm of quakes is among the most seismically active in North America, it rarely leads to destructive quakes. At least that's what they claim.
Rarely.
I would not.
I mean, because five isn't really too bad.
I know, but when you
5
have
is
40,
I slept through a good 7.
When you have 40 in a 24-hour period,
That's a
that means the
lot.
ground's moving underneath.
Yeah,
The
but
ground's moving a lot
they
underneath.
They said that it rarely means it's going to be a big one. I'm hoping that it's not.
I
So
hope
I'm
it's
gonna-
not.
Yeah, because I have
I hope
family in
it's not.
Oregon. I have family all over the West Coast. So I grew up in earthquakes. I know all about them. So I'm hoping that it doesn't.
So here's some good hope for you.
Okay.
According to seismologist Dr. Lucy Jones, there have been more than 133 quakes of more than 5 magnitude on the Blanco fracture zone since 1980, and they have never been followed by something on
There we
land
go.
that was
All right.
massive.
Good.
By the way, we are now at the end of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And being at the end of 2021, we always have the top lists of the year.
Yes.
And I have in my hand, Jonathan, Yo-Yo Elias, the list of the top most searched words on Google in 2021. Coming out on top, number 1, Brad Show Live. The number 1 most searched term on Google. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I
No,
believe it.
the most searched term, that's absolutely
Yeah.
fake news. The most searched term last year was, predictably, coronavirus,
Okay.
right. Also, the Australia versus India Men's World Cup cricket match.
What?
And India's match against England, also.
What?
Also one of the most searched. You want to know why?
I never searched at it.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because you are American-centric now. There are hundreds and hundreds of millions
Yeah.
of people living on the Indian continent who love cricket.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot more of them than there are Americans.
So maybe we should start pushing the show to India
Yes.
a lot more. Then.
Yes, in fact, the T20 Cricket World Cup and the Indian Premier
What?
League
That's
Cricket
so
Championships were also on the top 10 worldwide trending. The NBA also ranked there and topped the U.S. trending search list, with the Euro 2021 and Copa America soccer tournaments, or football tournaments. Sports topics accounted for 8 of the 10 global trending searches. The other 2 was rapper DMX.
That's for this year.
Yes. And
wow.
the breakout show, the Korean
Squid Games. I knew it.
Yes.
That had to have been. Sheesh.
Now, in the United States, what also topped just in the U.S., but not the world, Mega Millions.
Oh.
People are buying a lot of lottery
Sheesh.
tickets home for the COVID. And the NBA, yes, I said that, Jill. So, Omicron, which can be pronounced both Omicron and Omicron. I know it sounds like
That's
the same to
the
me.
same thing.
According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, was first identified in South Africa on November 24th. And although it has not been around a long time, the U.S. captioning company identifies that word as the most challenging for anyone to pronounce in the year 2021. It's Chuggy and Omicron. What is a Chuggy?
What is chuggy?
Can you Google? I don't even know what that means. Is that a hump day word, Chuggy?
Let's see.
Why do I think that's
How
a
do you
hump day
spell it?
word? CH. Can you put that back up? What's a Chuggy?
So chuggy is
I don't even know what that is.
an
Or chuggy?
American.
That's like
It's an American internet neologism. What is that?
Nihilism. Nihilism.
Coined in 2013, so it's a new word.
Somebody when you're obsessed with something.
Oh gosh.
See, chuggy, it sounds like just like a fat person to me.
Yeah.
You're a chuggy
Chuggy.
person. You're a chuggy person. I don't know.
Chuggy.
Chuggy. All right, chuggy. Well, that and Omicron, which
I know
which I
Omicron
can't even pronounce,
I know Omicron because of Greek letters.
are the
you know,
two
we have
most
to-
mispronounced words of the year.
Yeah. Omicron. They're calling it
Yes.
Omarion.
And that is
The news.
the news of the day. Let's get some camels out.
Who let the camels out?
We have some camels somewhere.
Hump day. It's hump day.
It is hump day.
voice
It's
is that?
hump day.
I don't know whose voice that is. I was just thinking that, but they do a really good.
A
Whoever
great-
we got to do that,
Right.
whoever
Who
we
was
got
it?
to do that,
Might be Jay Rhymes.
whoever we got to do that has the best camel voice I've ever heard in my life.
It does sound like.
Yes, you
A
know who
Randy
did it?
Camel.
Actually, David Diamante.
Really?
Yes, you know who he is.
No.
You don't know who David Diamante is?
I'll
famous,
say it again.
famous,
No.
famous announcer.
Oh,
Very famous announcer.
for.
Boxing.
Oh, boxing.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
to
one of
rumble? I know
those
that,
guys.
though.
One of those
Okay.
guys. He did it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Austria, like much of the world, is grappling with how to convince reluctant citizens to get vaccinated. So, Fun Palace, a brothel in Vienna, has come up with a very creative way to get people vaccinated. You can get humped and jabbed
No. My
at the
goodness.
same exact time, Jonathan.
Oh, wow.
Is that something you would be interested in?
I'm
The
already
brothel has
vaccinated.
announced in November it would be giving out vouchers, which is $46, the cost of entry into the brothel, to anyone who gets vaccinated at the pop-up clinic right outside the brothel.
Wow.
Speaking with NBC News in a phone interview, Christopher Lilich, Fun Palace's chief executive, said the initiative started as a clever marketing idea, but has since become an absolutely serious operation.
I mean, any way to get the people vaccinated.
Yeah, their new logo: get jabbed outside and get humped inside.
Right. Sheesh.
Do you think in America, if where would there be legal brothels? I guess in Las
I was about to
Vegas
say,
or Nevada.
Would it be legal though?
I think one of the counties in Nevada is legal. If
Wow.
they started doing that there, you think they would get an increase in vaccinations?
I definitely think so,
I think
especially
so.
out there because you get so many visitors.
Yeah. I'm going to skip the second one, Jonathan.
Good,
We're going to
thank
save
you.
that for another day.
All right.
Meanwhile, Kirsten Songer, who works at a Hooters restaurant in South Carolina, she posted a video on TikTok earlier this year divulging how much she made in tips for each shift in 1 week, which she said she gets on top of her $2.13 per hour wage. How is that even possible?
I told you guys this. I told y'all, or maybe I was
How is
talking to
that
my family
possible to
about
make
this.
$2.13
when I was
an
going
hour?
when I was going to Howard University in DC, I was a server. And on the East Coast, this is not on the West Coast because I was a server out on the West Coast as well. But on the East Coast, when you are a server, you get paid like $2 to $3 an hour, and then you get your tips. I don't know how that's legal because on the West Coast, you get minimum wage plus your tips.
Well, according to this, with all of her tips and her hourly wages, she made a total of $74,143.
That's wild.
Just wearing, I guess, a very tight top
And little booty shorts.
and little booty shorts and serving chicken wings
Yeah,
and beer.
that's wild.
In the video, she said she bartended for she was a bartender. She bartended for 7 hours on Sunday, made $408 in tips. On Monday, she said she worked a double shift, made $300 for the first shift, but that night she only made $50 in the evening. So pays to work at Hooters.
Yeah.
And Cardi B, the Grammy Award-winning hip-hop superstar, has been tapped by Playboy as its first creative director, and the appointment was announced Thursday. According to the announcement, Cardi B will provide artistic direction across co-branded fashion and sexual awareness merchandise that is being marketed by Playboy.
Cardi B is winning. Let me tell you, Cardi B is killing the game.
Do you think it's because she worked as a stripper before?
I mean, yeah, that's part of the reason.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense. Like, it's all about branding. You know, it makes sense. Now, you're not going to have somebody out there like Halle Berry, you know, being the new face of Playboy, you know? So it makes sense for Cardi B. And she's smart. She's a smart businesswoman. She has creative ideas, you know? So I'm excited to see where this goes.
And lastly, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, according to a study published by Match on November 9th, 81% of single men said sex is now less important than it was for them pre-pandemic times. I will have to say that Match did not interview me. Had they interviewed me, I think the percentage would have went from 81% to 80%.
To 80%?
Yes.
You would be a whole 1%?
I would be a whole 1%. That's how positive I would be in my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, according to Match's chief scientific advisors and sex researchers, Helen Fisher, PhD, the statistic is thanks to a perfect storm of biological and societal reasons brought on by COVID. All right, this is their explanation. 4 out of 5 men say sex is less important to them now.
4 out of 5.
That's 81%.
That's a lot.
But they didn't ask the right men.
I'm be wondering, how do they get these?
Where do they find these
people?
Where do they find these men who don't care about sex?
Right.
Well, according to the researcher, you can't shut a planet and expect people's physiology to remain the same. We all suffered. Dopamine plummeted, testosterone plummeted, sex is less important. See, I would look at it completely different.
I would think that it's a lot more
I
because
think it's
you're
more.
stuck in the house.
You're stuck in the house. You're not busy anymore.
Right, you can't do nothing else. There's so many pandemic babies out there.
Didn't we even read like a few months ago that Pornhub or whatever, PornTube or whatever, what's it called? What's the
Pornhub?
Pornhub. Pornhub had like the most visitors ever in 1 month.
So
during the pandemic.
But that's not sex. That's
people thinking about sex.
But this is saying actual sex with their partner. So when you're on Pornhub.
No, they're saying it's less important. Not saying you had less sex. They said sex is less important. But if you're going on to Pornhub, then sex is important to you, no? Or that's completely different.
Masturbation is not sex. To me.
Well, the more sex you have, the more you want it. The less sex you have, the less you want it. I'm not going to get into that conversation with you, Jonathan.
Listen, yes.
I'm not. Yes, that's right. Now, it's like a potato chip, Jonathan. Right? You can't just have one potato chip.
Yeah, right.
Right? So these singles were having less sex and were under extreme stress. So if you're not having a potato chip, you don't know what you're missing.
All I know is
that's the theory.
All I know is Willie L. Williams said, "Not for me."
What's not for him?
I don't think this goes for him either.
What?
Exactly what you were saying.
Oh, right. If they interviewed me, Yo-Yo, and Willie L. Williams, the percentage would have went down to like 75%.
Right. Jessica Leamy said those men got paid to say no.
I don't know where they found these. They must have went. You know where they must have went to the graveyard or something to interview these men. Maybe the old age home. You know, I don't know. Yeah. What they neglected was all of the men interviewed were over 90 years old. Right. All right.
We survived another hump day news.
What?
We survived another hump day.
We survived another hump day, Yo-Yo. It's now time. In this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about traveling on a student visa, what to do if you have DACA and get arrested, long interview, wait times, and marriage. Let's watch. Of course, you can travel on a student visa as long as you're fully matriculated in a university, which is at least 12 credits per semester, and you are attending that university. Enjoy your travels, enjoy your schooling. Well, I'm not a relationship counselor, but I would suggest that you make your future spouse feel loved and that you're marrying him for him and not because you're tired of Uganda and want to get out. Just my thoughts. If you have a pending criminal case, they will not renew your DACA. You have to resolve the pending criminal case Hopefully you're not found guilty of a significant misdemeanor or a felony. Hopefully the case is resolved in your favor. And then at that point, you can refile for your DACA. Good luck. If your dad has had his interview at the U.S. Embassy more than 2 years ago, or even more than a year ago, and still is waiting, there's a problem with your dad's case, and someone needs to contact the embassy. If you marry your partner before you get your green card, and your father is only a lawful permanent resident, that would be the end of the case. The day you get your lawful residence, the next day, you can get married to your partner. Good luck. All right, it's time for meat and potatoes. You can't just have one potato chip. You can't have one bite of meat. You can't have one bite of potato. We gotta have 14 of them. Let's get it going. Meat and potatoes time. There we go. Damien in Dallas.
Hey, Brad. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm calling about for one of my coworker. He came here in 2014 from Jamaica. He got married. He's now a U.S. citizen. However, he went back to Jamaica to get some business done, and he was found out that his divorce in Jamaica was not finalized. When he checked with the court, they said the lawyer filed it, but it was not finalized. However, he has a paper from the lawyer that he was divorced.
So what you're saying to me is that there's a man from Jamaica who came to the U.S., thought he was divorced, got married to a U.S. citizen, got his green card, ultimately got his citizenship, then went back to Jamaica and discovered that the marriage in which he got his green card on was a bigamous marriage. He was not legally married, and apparently never even deserved his green card, let alone his citizenship.
Yes.
That is something that nobody should ever talk publicly about other than to their attorney in a privileged conversation, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
Hold on. IFRA in Ontario, Canada. IFRA. 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 All right, see if we can get her back. Anthony in Fort Lauderdale.
Hello.
Hi, Anthony.
Yes, Brian. I've been having a problem.
You got to speak up, Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony, there's a lot of noise in the background. You got to speak up.
Yes,
Anthony, there's a lot of noise in the background. Take it off speaker and talk into the phone.
Yes. Are you hearing me now?
Now I hear you.
Yes. Question. I applied for VAWA. It's been about 2 years now. Like last year, July of 2020, they sent for more evidence, which I sent to them. However, they informed me that they received it and they will be making a decision. However, I have not heard from them since.
Okay.
What should I do in such a situation?
When was the RFE?
Last July. July
year.
of 2020.
Okay. Nothing to do until July 2021. You have to assume that at some point in the next few months you'll be called for an interview. If you don't get an interview, you don't hear from them within 1 year of responding to the RFE, that's when you could threaten a mandamus.
Yes. The thing about it, I have a lawyer, but I mean, he's telling me that, like in terms of the VAWA, that I have to wait.
Well, that's what I'm telling you too. I would be telling you the same exact thing. Got to wait. But come July 2022, if you still haven't heard anything, that's when you can do something. And happy birthday to the person in the background.
All right, thank
hang
you.
In there. All right, let's go to Nikki in Myrtle Beach.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
I'm okay. So first, I want to say I'm a Jamaican.
Yes.
And in Patois, we say, big up yourself, brother. You're the general. In English.
Thank you. In English,
I want to say, Brad, you're a great lawyer. In my book, you're the number one lawyer.
Thank you very much.
I don't have a question tonight, But I just wanted to tell everybody who's listening that they need to make you their lawyer. I just want to publicly say thank you for being so selfless in your responses. Like, you're giving out so much on this show, and people, you guys need to like up the video, share, and subscribe so other persons can see it. Brad, in January, mid-January, I called you. I was at one of my lowest points. If I spoke to 10 persons, 9.5 of them told me that I didn't have any options.
Right.
Being married to a LTR and wanted to adjust my status. When I called you on the air in mid-January of this year, you just laid it out straight, like the real general, and you told me what to do and the procedures. I did just that. And if I had the money, Brad, I would have made you do it for me. But the information that you gave to me was so clear. I did it. And today I was approved. I got my green card. Yes,
Nikki.
thank you,
Nikki,
Brad.
I want you to, two things, Nikki. Two things. Number one, I have a chair. One second. I have a chair. You can come here and co-host the show with me whenever you want.
Yes,
What a fantastic. Fantastic Jamaican spokeswoman.
You.
Right.
And number two, congratulations on getting your green card. And what a wonderful call that is. Because, you know, I assume I help a lot of people. You know, they watch, they do their thing, and we don't hear from them. And for you to take the time out of your day and wait on hold for, I don't know, a long period of time, and then come on with such enthusiasm and happiness. And sheer joy of getting your green card, and now I know that even though I've never met you, you took my advice, you did exactly what I told you to do, and now you have it.
We had a consultation. Yeah.
You know what? You made my day. You made your day.
You made my year, Brad.
Thank you, Nikki.
And I'm
congratulations.
To the show. Have a great day, and everybody, please like, share, subscribe. That's the least you can do. Bye-bye.
Now that is a happy lady. Now that is a happy lady.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, I assume I help a lot of people. You know, you never know. I assume I do.
Yeah, well, this is proof in the pudding.
Proof in the pudding. All right, Brent in Atlanta. Brent.
Hello.
Hi, Brent. How are you?
Yes. How you doing?
Good.
How's the night going?
Fabulous. Now after Nikki's call.
Yes, I'm doing fine. Yes, I was calling about because I have a son that I filed for. Well, I actually filed for his mom from Jamaica, and they were on the same filing. Now, the filing came through. NBC sent expedited the case to the embassy last year during the whole COVID, but the embassy was closed, and during that closure, he turned 21. So this year they denied him his visa because he turned 21.
What?
So
who sponsored him?
Trying to find out what would I do.
Who sponsored him?
Again?
Who sponsored him?
I did.
You're a resident or a citizen?
A resident.
You're a resident. Okay. And did you? When was he denied?
He was denied in October.
And you filed an I. Tell me again the date. You filed an I-130 when?
Well, he been filing for a long time because I filed for her, and then she put him on her paperwork.
Oh, okay. And so you filed for your wife, and this is your wife's child.
Yes. Well, it's both our child.
Both your child. How did you get your green card?
I got my green card through. I was on my dad's filing because his sister filed for him, and he put me on his.
All right. I would need to see the I-130 and see if there was a mistake made and that your son is under the Child Status Protection Act. That's the first step. I can't determine that until I see the I-130, how long it took the I-130 to get approved. You get to add that to the 21st birthday, as long as he applied for his immigrant visa within 1 year of visa availability, which it sounds like he did. It sounds like he should be considered under the Child Status Protection Act as an F2A instead of an F2B. But I would need to see the paperwork to confirm that. And then perhaps we can contact the embassy.
Right, because the he actually been on filing for about 20 years.
Okay, so then he would not be under the Child Status Protection Act, because as part of it, you have to apply for the visa within 1 year of being eligible to do so. So if he was eligible for 20 years or 15 years and you didn't do it, then the Child Status Protection Act would not apply then at that point. Now, he's a derivative. You never actually filed a visa petition for him.
No, I filed for his mom.
You kind of, I'll be honest with you, kind of fell asleep on this one. So I need to see the paperwork and let's see what we can do to help. Hold on one second. All right, let's go to Lisa in Queens.
Hi, good evening, Brad.
Hi.
I have I'm confused with something right here. So, I'm in the F1 category. My mom filed for me.
Mm-hmm.
My priority date is July 2016. What's the difference between the final action date and the date for filing for family sponsored? Should I pay attention to both, or?
Well, if you're adjusting your status, then,
no, I'm not.
Then, if you're not adjusting your status, it really doesn't apply to you. The final action would apply to you. You would be doing a provisional waiver going home, but you wouldn't get the visa appointment until the final action date is current.
Okay, so pay attention to the final action
Correct.
date. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so
You're welcome.
much.
Let's go to Raquel in Kingston. Hi, Raquel.
Hi, good night, Brad.
Good night. How are you?
I am good, thank you. And you?
Good. What's going on?
Okay, my father's wife was filing for me a while back. Then I had a record here in Jamaica. They asked to file for a waiver when I went to the embassy. Now, in 2019, they denied the waiver because I didn't send in enough.
Why do you need it? What was the criminal record for?
Just a fight.
Okay, and how long ago was it?
Was back in 2007.
2007. Okay. What was the conviction? 2007?
Yes.
Did you go to jail?
No, I just got suspended sentence and was on probation.
And that's it?
Yes.
Who's sponsoring you?
My father's wife, but she died.
Okay.
After the waiver got denied, she died early this year. But after the waiver denied, we did not do anything else on the case. So I was wondering if my dad can now file for me since he's a citizen. But
your dad, all right, so two things. Number one, your dad should file for you immediately. Okay. It is going to take about 5 years to get you a new visa appointment. But under the waiver laws, for a fight in which you did not go to jail, that would be considered a crime of moral turpitude. And what the law says is if you're applying for a green card within 15 years of a conviction for a crime of moral turpitude, you have to prove extreme and unusual hardship to your family in the U.S., which is what you were not able to do. What the law says is if you're applying for a waiver more than 15 years after commission of a crime of moral turpitude, there is just a balancing act. Are you a person of good moral character now? All else being equal, you would get the waiver. So once the 15-year mark happens for waivers based on crimes of moral turpitude, it is a much easier waiver, almost always approvable. So what I would suggest is let your dad file for you immediately. Know it's going to be another 5 years. He should have done it years ago, but do it now. Know it's going to be about another 5 years before you get the visa appointment. But in 5 years, your waiver will be easy to do.
Oh, okay, I understand. All right, thank you very much.
All right, good luck. Let's go to Karam or Karen in Dallas.
Yeah, Khurram.
Khurram.
It's Khurram.
Okay,
Yeah.
how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good.
Actually, sir, I'm a permanent resident green card holder since 2013. But I got charged with domestic violence. I've got a fight with my wife, and somebody called the cops.
When did you get charged? How many years after you got your green card?
2019, December 2009.
When did you get your green card?
August 2013.
Okay. And were you living in the U.S. before then?
I came in 2011
How'd you come in 2011?
on a visit visa.
Okay. Now, what happened with the crime of domestic violence? Well, how did it end?
So I did. It's a diversion with anger management.
Okay, that's perfect because it's not a criminal offense for immigration purposes.
Oh, okay. Because I applied for my citizenship. My wife got the citizenship. I got interviewed, but
you may be denied for good moral character because you have a domestic violence arrest during the 5-year period or 3-year period, depending on if you're basing it on a bona fide marriage to a U.S. citizen. So that was 2019. So when was your probation up? When was the whole case dismissed?
February 2020.
And when are you still with your wife?
Yeah.
Okay. So
actually, I got a green card. I took asylum.
Okay. So in February 2020, is your wife's a citizen now? When did she become a citizen? When did she become a citizen?
She became citizen in October 21.
Okay. So now October 2024, which will be 3 years from your wife's citizenship, you can file your citizenship and get through based on 3 years in a bona fide marriage with a U.S. citizen with good moral character from October 21 to October 24. It's one option. Or you can base it on 5 years good moral character. Your probation was up February 2020. That means you would be filing based on 5 years good moral character February 2025. So you would actually save a few months if you and your wife presumably are still together in a bona fide marriage doing it that way.
Okay, but I didn't get probation from the court. I got a diversion.
I understand that. You got I assume you got denied for not having good moral character.
No. I didn't deny it. I went to the interview. The officer wants me to send a deposition, code of deposition.
Disposition.
Yeah. I did upload it online, but
okay. Sorry. So then hopefully you get through. I always say, one bad night doesn't make you bad moral character. But I thought you were telling me you got denied, so I said that would have been the reason.
No.
All right. So what is your question? Then? Tell me what your question is.
So my question is, they can deny me with this this thing
obviously,
or no?
I just went through a whole reasons why you would have been denied. Of course, you could be denied for not having good moral character.
Okay.
All right.
So, all right.
But you may not. Who knows? Let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Ifra in Ontario, Canada.
Hi,
how are
you? Good, thank you. And I appreciate all the hard work you're doing.
Thank you.
You and your team.
Thank you.
So I have a question, please. My question is, I came in United States on 2016 with B2 visa, and I get married, and I had a U.S. citizen child in 2018. On 2019, I was scared from the ex-president Donald Trump when he says he will deport the parent without study and keep the child. And I ran from Canada.
So you got scared. So you're scared. You got. How did you come to the U.S. originally?
With a tourist, B2 visa.
And then you gave birth in the U.S. and Donald Trump scared you and you ran to Canada with the baby. Because I hear a baby in the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when I came in the U.S. and I applied
Where
for
are you from?
asylum seeker.
Where are you from?
I'm from Djibouti, Africa.
And
East
how
Africa.
long were you in the U.S.?
since June 2016 to April 2019.
All right, so you have a 10-year bar to return now.
Yes, I want to go
You said
back
you had
to
a
that.
husband, you had a U.S. citizen husband, you just gave birth. What was your situation?
No, my husband is not a U.S. citizen. He's like me.
Oh, he's like you. But unfortunately,
Mhm.
you're stuck in Canada now. There's nothing you can do. Your baby can't help you. You were undocumented in the U.S. for more than a year. You left. Gives you a 10-year bar. The only way to return after a 10-year bar is to be married to a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, or have a parent who's a U.S. citizen or resident. Your husband is nothing. I assume you have no parents in the U.S. unless I'm wrong. So now you have nobody to do a waiver through.
And I have a Canadian little girl too.
Yeah, you're just going to be in Canada for at least 10 years. There's nothing anyone can do about it. And it's unfortunate.
All right, thank you very much.
Sorry about that. All right, Mike in the Bronx.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good night, Brad. I'm doing fine. All right, I got a question here. I got my green card from I was married before. Got my green card from a previous marriage. I got the 10-year, and when I got the 10-year, I got divorced and remarried to someone else, which is not a U.S. citizen. She's undocumented. But I filed for my citizenship a couple months ago, and I put her on the application as an undocumented.
Fine.
I was wondering if, because to be honest with you, Brad, at night I'm kind of scared. You know what I mean? Because I put her information on it saying that she's undocumented.
Nobody's coming for her. It's not going to
Okay.
prevent you from becoming a citizen. Sleep very well. You'll be a citizen. The day you become a citizen, you'll put in her adjustment. You'll be
Okay.
fine. She'll be fine.
All right. So is it a bad idea to put in her I-130?
You
Or
can.
I should wait till that.
You can if you want to, but the reality is she's going to get a green card on the same day, whether you put in the I-130 now or wait until you become a citizen. At this point, you already have your citizenship pending. Just wait until you're a citizen. Just put in one big adjustment application.
Got you. Sounds good.
But
All
you'll
right,
be
thank
fine.
you, Brad.
Because Biden's not coming for your wife, and being honest on a naturalization application doesn't prevent you from becoming a citizen. Saying I married someone who's undocumented, there's no law that says if you marry someone who's undocumented, now all of a sudden you can't become a citizen. And nobody's coming for her, so everybody's fine.
Okay, because what happened, she came up on a student visa.
It's fine.
So she didn't get a return date.
It's fine. She'll be fine.
So
You'll
she
be
didn't
fine.
violate. All right, cool.
Okay. All right.
Have a good night.
Good luck. Let's go to Lewis. Let's go to Lewis in Rochester, New York.
Okay. Good evening, Brad.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good. What's going on?
Okay. I'm a 10-year green card holder, and I wanted to file for my naturalization, and I got an arrest for endangering the welfare of a child. That's my son, and I was wondering if that's going to affect me.
Perhaps, yes.
Yeah,
Tell me
'cause,
what happened with endangering the welfare of your child. What happened?
I went to get something from the grocery, and I left my son in the car.
Okay.
And somebody called the police.
Got it.
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
That was just like a couple of months ago.
And you said you're applying for citizenship now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
Because I went to court, and the case was closed, and
It was dismissed.
Yeah, it was dismissed.
Okay. The fact that it was dismissed is a good thing. If that's your only arrest ever, I still think you're going to become a citizen. You were arrested. The charge was dismissed. You made a mistake. Doesn't make you a bad person. As long as it's your only arrest ever, I think you'll be okay. Is it a problem?
Thank
Yes. It's going to come up. It's definitely a problem. But I think ultimately you're going to get your green card. Your green card,
Thank
excuse
you.
me, your citizenship.
Yeah, citizenship.
All right.
Okay, have a nice one, Brad.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Michael in Nevada. Michael.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Just a quick question. I'm a DACA recipient. My wife is a U.S. citizen, and we filed our priority date for the I-130 is March 29 on our receipt, and we still haven't got anything from immigration.
How did you come to the U.S.?
To a tourist visa.
How come you haven't filed an adjustment application?
No, we weren't married yet. I came here when I was like.
No, my question is: you're married to a U.S. citizen. You came here on a visa, DACA or no DACA. You file an adjustment application. So if you just filed an I-130, you're not going to get anything. Nothing's going to happen for you. You have to file an adjustment application.
Yeah, we did that too. With a lawyer.
How much did you pay in total?
Oh, about like.
Not to the lawyer, but to the government.
Oh, the government?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I forgot
you
already.
Should have,
like almost...
You should have paid $1,760.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
It was that.
When did you file this?
Ooh, I think around. I forgot. I know my receipt date's March 29. Or the receipt date is March 29 of 2021 this year.
Okay, so you're 6 months. Did you take a fingerprint?
That's the thing. I still haven't got anything like a biometrics or anything.
Maybe you don't have to do it because they have your biometrics from your DACA, so that's possible. But you have a receipt. You have a receipt notice for everything, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
I'm just scared because my DACA is going to expire on January of 28th of next year.
Did you apply for a work permit?
Yeah, I have one right now.
No, did you apply for a new one?
No.
Okay, you should do that.
Okay.
Not on the DACA, but on the adjustment.
Oh, yeah, it comes with it too. Like I paid.
Yeah. You know what, Michael?
Yeah.
It's hard to help you if you don't know what's going on in your case.
Yeah.
So I don't want to help you, but it's hard to know what's going on with your case. What I'd suggest is get a copy of your records from your lawyer. Call up my office, email it to me, and I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll figure it out. All right? Hold on.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let's go to Janelle in Newark.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yep. I have some few questions. I was married with a U.S. citizen, like a naturally born U.S. citizen. And he just recently passed away last month. And my papers are still pending in immigration. I did my biometrics last November 29th. Is there any chances that I can still stay in the United States? And what are the things that I need to do?
All right. So, first of all, my condolences on your husband. Number
Thank
two,
you.
when your husband passes, your adjustment case, and you have a pending adjustment through marriage,
yes.
Your adjustment case automatically converts to a widow case. And you have to notify the immigration service that your husband passed. You want to convert the case to a widow petition, and then you will continue the adjustment application. You will go on the adjustment interview, show the death certificate, show you're listed as the wife on the death certificate, prove that you were in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, bring a second affidavit of support from someone else, and you'll get your green card.
Affidavit of support with someone else, is that what you're trying to say is like another sponsor?
Correct.
What if they don't, what if my husband don't have anyone, like any family member
Not
or
you.
someone
It's
else?
not your husband. There's 300 million people in America.
No, I don't have anyone else as well. I am from the Philippines, actually.
I understand that. You have to have a friend or family member. I'm sure you have one.
Okay, so what if I can't find anyone else? What's the other option?
Go out and be friendly and make a friend.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Let's go. I mean, I don't know anybody who can't meet a human being. Right?
Yeah. It's hard for some people, though.
Ascar in Nashville.
Hey, Mr. Brad, this is Oscar. How are you, sir?
Good.
Thank you for all your help. I have a quick question. I have a brother in Denmark. He is a resident, not a citizen yet there, but he is legally living in that country. Because all our family is here in United States, he wants to come to live here. I know he can come on a visa, but he doesn't want to go back. Is there any legal process we can take that so that he can stay here?
What family does he have here?
Parents, I as his brother, sister.
He's a single man?
He is single, yeah.
Parents are residents or citizens?
My parents, they have green card, but they have applied for citizenship.
Okay, so let one of your parents sponsor him. It's not going to happen overnight. It's about a 5-year wait for a green card. Perhaps he could potentially be eligible for a work visa or an investor visa, depending on what his situation is. I don't know what his education is, what his financial situation is. So there's work visas, employment visas, family sponsorship. Let your mom start a family sponsorship. It's better than nothing. And if he wants, we can talk about other options, but I would need to know a lot more about him.
I can sponsor him as well?
You can, but it's going to be 15 years.
Oh, but if my parents do,
it's quicker.
How long that
About
take?
5 to 6 years.
5 to 6 years. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, good luck. All right. By the way, you can always follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You can't handle 2 hours of our show, but 2 minutes. Best 2 minutes of your life. Just look at what our posts are on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You can also follow us on TikTok at Bradshaw Live. If you didn't get your immigration question answered here, you could leave your question on TikTok, and maybe you will be lucky enough. I can't answer everybody's question, but maybe you'll be lucky enough to get a video response personalized to you from me on TikTok.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And where am I at here? And later in the show, I'm going to be speaking with Steven Garza, the breakout star of Apple Plus 2021 Emmy winning documentary Boy Slate.
Yes, and first, Janiyah Hurd's father, immigrant activist Jean Montrevel, was deported to Haiti in January 2018 for a 30-year-old aggravated felony charge. Now, Jean returned to the U.S. October 18, 2021 on a 90-day parole while he fights to remain with his family in New York. Now, in this video, Janiyah tells us what she would like to see in U.S. immigration reform. I want to know what you guys would like to see as well. Let us know in the comments.
What is the #1 change you want to see in U.S. immigration reform?
I would just like the government to be held accountable. At the end of the day, I feel like they try to sit here and act like they're doing stuff and they're really not helping people. And I want more light to be shed on how black and brown migrants are targeted mostly out of all immigrants. You don't hear, people from Europe getting deported back like you hear how Haitians are targeted, the way Haitians were treated at the border. Like, you don't hear stories like that happening with people from Europe. So I want people to be held accountable, and I want people to open their eyes and actually take the time to educate themselves about what's going on.
All right, let's check out social media, Yo-Yo.
Let's do it. All right, our first one comes from Ray Zia F1, a VIP Facebook member. Adjustment of status, advanced parole and employment authorization document filed in June. Priority date June 21st, 2021. Biometrics October 29th, 2021. I'm an ICU nurse and received a job offer at a COVID ICU. The hospital strictly asked me to start January 3rd or I'll lose my offer. Is this eligible to file an expedite for employment authorization document?
Absolutely. Losing your job offer is a reason to expedite. The fact that you're a frontline worker, the fact that you're working in a COVID ICU, all reasons to expedite.
Okay, so how likely would it get approved and how long?
Be likely to get approved. Magic 8 Ball.
Oh, snap.
All right, he's asking me to tell the future.
How long?
Will it be approved before January 3rd, his official start date? Magic 8 Ball says...
It is
Definitely so.
Okay.
Definitely so.
Okay.
So yeah, do it now. Magic 8 Ball says you'll get it.
Okay. Daryl Winneba on YouTube. My friend is getting married on Friday to a green card holder in the U.S., but she is a pending COS to, is it COS?
Change of status.
Okay, to F1 yet to be approved. Should they file the I-130? What should be the next steps or your advice?
She's marrying a resident or a citizen?
Green card holder.
The next step is get married, do nothing, get the student visa approved. Once the student visa is approved, start school, and then 90 days later file an adjustment.
All right, Leonoro Smith Brown on Facebook. How long does a husband have to wait to file if he marries a green card holder?
The next day.
Saliu Ba on YouTube. I'm applying for my N400. If you have ever been cited or arrested, do you have to show them all the tickets, such as running a red light, speeding, and that you've paid all the fines? How do I respond to them?
Go to the court where you were cited and get a disposition for all of your different issues and bring it into your naturalization.
Nikisha Ed on YouTube. Married to a LPR, my I-130 petition has been at NVC and DQ since June 2020. I've since received 5 emails from DQ to wait in line, but this has been 18 months. What can I do to get my interview in January?
Where is she?
It does not say.
I don't know where you are. I don't know if where you are the embassy is even open. I don't know where you are, how backed up the embassy is. I don't know where you are, how many people are actually working at the embassy, even if it was open. And you need a good humanitarian reason to expedite your case above everyone else who's also been waiting a very long time.
We've been here, XXZZ on YouTube. I was deported from the U.S. in 2011 for possession of MDMA. I have been living in Ukraine for the past 10 years. My wife and 3 children are American citizens. What are the chances for me to re-enter? I fear for a possible war in the country.
What was the first part of the question?
Was deported from the U.S.
Why?
in 2011 for possession of MDMA.
What's MDMA?
About to check, because I thought you were going to know MDMA.
That's ecstasy.
Ecstasy,
Okay.
Molly.
All right. The answer is you can't return. If you were found guilty of possession of a serious narcotic, wife, kids, no kids, doesn't matter. You're not coming back, unfortunately. I'm sorry that Ukraine finds itself in this situation, but coming to America is not in the cards for you.
Niak on Facebook. I'm asking for my cousin. Her mom is a U.S. citizen and wants to start filing for her. What form should she file? She's over 21, unmarried, and she's living in the States as well.
An adjustment application. Who's filing for who? She wants to
mom,
file for her
mom is a U.S. citizen and wants to start filing for
my
her.
apologies. Not an adjustment, just an I-130 visa petition, and then you're going to be on a waiting list, and you may be 245I. You may have to do a provisional waiver. We'll see what the laws are. Maybe they change.
Marge Higgs on Facebook. Can traffic tickets affect my green card application or citizenship?
If you have enough of them.
Unatizi on Facebook. Can someone on the 751 file for his wife to come to America?
No, because you have a pending I-751. And if you got your green card through a U.S. citizen, you can't turn around and file for a new spouse for 5 years from the time you got your green card.
Joan Ambitious Powell on Facebook. Can I apply for an H-1B visa if I'm out of the status?
You can, but you would have to leave the country to get it, and it's unlikely you'd get a visa appointment. If you do, you probably overstayed and you get stuck.
Muhammad Monural Islam on YouTube. Up to what year and month has the bona fide determination been done for so far for U visas?
Not too many people.
Faiza Wasim Dar on Facebook. My F41 visa PD February 2012 was approved last year in April. I got a welcome letter from NVC. When will my priority date become current?
Let's see what they're at.
All right.
Brother, sister. F4.
F4.
Visa bulletin. Let's see what Visa bulletin says. Visa bulletin. And the Visa bulletin says right now that they're up to in the F4 category. March 22nd, 2007. He's 2012, so you're years and years and years away.
Sheesh.
Jeez.
Gosh, 2007.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, Mimi Bell's on YouTube. Can one be granted any legal status on humanitarian grounds as an undocumented parent of 3 U.S. citizen minors who have been in the U.S. for a little over a year now?
Unless there's some, you having 3 children is not a humanitarian issue that would be approved. If you tell me, God forbid, your 3 children have huge medical issues, and should you be deported, they would have no one to take care of them here, take them to the doctor, and if you had to take them to your home country, they don't have the medical care in your home country to deal with this. That would be a humanitarian issue. It has to be that serious.
Don Harriet on Facebook, will the ones who are not included in the act be sent back to their country?
No.
And last one, DJ China SA on YouTube. Can one safely leave the country with advanced parole after responding to RFE?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Cool. All right, so Boys State is American Legion-sponsored Boys State, founded in 1935 to promote leadership skills among young Texans. The 2021 Primetime Emmy Award-winning documentary Boys State, now streaming on Apple TV, was filmed in Austin in 2018 during the week-long event. Steven Garza, who's a Mexican-American, was one of the attendees and became the breakout star of the film. He joined me to discuss his family's immigration story, how he became interested in politics, and how he was chosen for the film. Let's watch. Steven Garza is one of the breakout stars of Boys State, winner of the 2020 Sundance Grand Jury Prize and the 2021 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Documentary or Nonfiction Special. Directed and produced by Jesse Moss and Amanda McBain, the film follows 1,000 teenage boys attending the week-long program Boys State in Texas in the summer of 2018 to build a representative government from the ground up, including a slate of elected officials from governor to sheriff. Steven, who is Mexican-American and more liberal-minded, ran for governor of the Nationalist Party, while the majority of the students were conservative. The way in which Steven handled his campaign gained the attention and respect from everyone, from his fellow Boys State participants to former presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. With me to discuss his family's immigration story, how his experience at Boys State changed his life, and his perspective on politics and society is Steven Garza. Thank you for joining me today, Steven. Boys State was released on Apple TV Plus in August of 2020. Let's watch the trailer.
I will skip the part where I brag for 3 minutes about how great and cool I am, seeing as we are all qualified young men of skill and character. People like that stuff. Sounds good, yeah. People like that stuff a lot.
Some people say they're a sports junkie. I say I'm a politics junkie.
The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph.
I'm playing this like a game. I would like very much to win. I love it, boys. I love it. Where are you from?
I come from a very modest family. I'm on the course to be the first one to graduate from high school. I'm a progressive person, and I'm in a room full of mostly conservative people.
Our masculinity shall not be infringed.
I've never seen so many white people ever. I feel like everybody has a secret underlying need for bipartisanship.
A message of unity, as good as it sounds, is not winning anyone any elections.
Primary polls are now open. Get yourselves ready for a turbulent election.
Whatever happens, dude, best of luck.
You win, I support you fully.
My name is Steven Garza, and I'm running for governor.
Let's get applause because...
As to the political views voiced in my speech, sometimes you gotta say what you gotta say in an attempt to win.
I think he's a fantastic politician. But I don't think a fantastic politician is a compliment either.
We're gonna do shock and awe. It's gonna be awesome.
I want y'all to take out your phones and go on Instagram. Everyone, come on.
Oh my God. We show the world what patriots are made of. That when things get tough, we pull ourselves by our bootstraps. One nation, under God, lovers of the Constitution of the United States of America.
That's politics, I think. That's politics.
So let's hear a little bit about your background. You're a Mexican American. What is your family's immigration story?
Yeah, so my father, by virtue of his grandparents were from Mexico and they were laborers. And so they would come up north to the United States to, do work during the spring and summer months. And then when it came down to it getting cold, they would go back down to Mexico and live off the money they had made. And so by virtue of one trip up there, my grandma was pregnant and my dad was born in Detroit, Michigan, which, again, have never visited or ever been that far north in my life. He, is a U.S. citizen, but my mom was born in Monterrey, Mexico, and grew up there with her family. Had permission to come over to the United States a few times. She would come and go. One time she decided that she wanted to stay. She, violated the terms of her visa and became undocumented at that point because she no longer had permission to stay in the country around the early 2000s. By that time, she had 4 kids. She had my older brothers, Stuart and Eric, me, and my little brother, Anthony.
You were all born in the United States.
Yes, we were all born in the United States. So I was born in the Rio Grande Valley in Mission, Texas. So we all grew up in the valley of Texas. I always joke that had I been born like 5 minutes further south, I would have been born in Mexico because that's
you were
how
that close.
Yeah, we were that close.
It's amazing how just fate, you're born on one side of a fence or another, it completely changes your life.
100%. So my dad would stay at home taking care of us as the person at the house. And my mom would be working, at a Stripes gas station. And so that's kind of how those things worked out for a couple of years.
Were you aware of her immigration situation growing up?
No, it never really came up. I mean, I was 6 or 7 years old when my parents split up. And so my mom left my dad and took all of us to Houston, where my grandmother lived, and we stayed at her for a while. But around the time that they split up, in around 2007, is when she was finally able to get permanent residency status here.
Your parents split up, you're 7 years old, your mom's undocumented, you go to live in Houston. How'd you turn out so normal and on the road to success?
It was a lot of wanting to do, I guess, the right thing and not let that affect me. I kind of realized that I had an opportunity to really do whatever I wanted to do with my life. And I, from an early age, was always super interested in politics and history, was always very friendly with my teachers. Actually, I turned 21 next month, and I'm still in contact with my second grade history teacher. I never forgot that she went out of her way to get me a picture book on Abraham Lincoln. That kind of reinforcement from my teachers, again, at when my home life wasn't the best, to be able to go to school and be able to, have friends and to be able to learn and then go home and be like, look, did you know this? Did you know that Abraham Lincoln did this? Really kind of pushed me. And another factor was there would be spans of days where I wouldn't see my mom because she'd be working 2 or 3 jobs at a time. And so when I would wake up to go to the school bus, she would be getting what little sleep she could. And by the time I came back home, she'd already be gone, having started what would probably be her second or third job for the day.
There was nobody there to say, hey, Steven, do your homework. You were self-motivated.
I didn't want to disappoint her, obviously. At a young age, I kind of realized how much she was doing for me.
I understand you heard Bernie Sanders speak once, and that got you really excited about politics. You want to talk about that?
I was 15 years old. It was the summer before my freshman year of high school. I was a kid who would wake up and watch CNN before I had to go to school on my TV. I always had it on. I always wanted to keep updated with what was going on in the world. And so I was, interested in what was going on in the political world, and had heard that Bernie Sanders, who was running for president, this is maybe 2 or 3 months after he announced he was running. So he was still pretty much like a, senator from Vermont, right? And so, but I heard he was coming to the University of Houston. And I'm like, whoa, when will I get a chance to ever hear a presidential candidate speak? And so, I asked my older brother, Eric, I said, hey, can you take me to this event? I think it'd be really cool to see. And so he took me, and I was just in awe of all the young people that were there, a lot of people of color who were there, to see this 70-something-year-old white guy from the Northeast speak and actually be drawn to him. And that kind of really resonated with me. And I really felt that we have the opportunity to use this apparatus for good. And in the past, we've done it. And there are people, I saw a lot of people who were struggling. People like my mom, who I felt if she's working 2 or 3 jobs and we were barely scraping by, that's not fair. If hard work can get you anywhere, then my mom should be a billionaire. And from then on, I'm like, okay, let me get involved. And so I, started joining all these young Democrat clubs. And I was 15 years old, so I can't vote and I can't donate to a campaign, which is really 2 big important things in politics. And so, but what can I do? Well, I can make phone calls and I can knock on doors and I can attend meetings and I can become as knowledgeable as I can about this process, because in my mind, I wanted to be a good citizen, just be active and aware of what's going on in my country and make good and informed choices when it comes to what I think my political views are, which haven't really changed all that much since then. Like, I love this country, and I'm able to acknowledge that it has many faults and problems with it, and that I know it could do better than it is right now. Once I kind of got to high school, I really didn't care too much about my grades. I mean, I did care, obviously. I wanted to graduate, but instead of doing my math homework, I'd rather be at like a political event or reading something about politics or going to a meeting or something like that.
As long as you know how to count the votes, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
Tell me a little bit about what Boys State is for those who don't know.
So Boys State is a program that's been going on in this country for close to, about 80 years at this point. And what it is that in 49 states, and every state in the union except Hawaii, I believe, and they have programs for both boys and girls, they basically get a couple hundred kids, incoming high school seniors, and have them create a mock state government from the ground up. And this program, again, has been around for so long and has produced a lot of famous alumni. Of course, Bill Clinton famously went through the program, Rush Limbaugh, Samuel Alito, Cory Booker, and people who didn't even go on to do politics, like James Gandolfini, who played Tony Soprano, Bruce Springsteen, Neil Armstrong, Michael Jordan.
Ann Richards, who was the former governor of Texas, and Charlie Crist, former governor of Florida.
Yeah. There's a long list of alumni from Boys State or Girls State. And which is why I always thought it was interesting that many people don't know that the program exists. It's kind of like the secret little group that people go to and maybe sometimes forget about it. Tell me like, man, I forgot I went to Boys State like 20 years ago. The people who go to Boys State are usually valedictorian, salutatorian, top 10, super high GPA. Yeah, my GPA in high school was a 2.6 out of 5. And so my instructor who nominated me to interview before the board of American Legionnaires to go to the program was very worried about nominating me because my GPA was so low compared to the average Boys Stater. And he was right, because when I got to the interview, and usually they'll ask you about patriotism and what the flag means to you and things like that. But instead, they grilled me for 40 minutes on my GPA. And I had to convince them in those 40 minutes that saying, hey, I've been super politically involved. I think I could do fairly well if you take a chance and send me. Don't look at the number, look at me and look at what I'm telling you.
As a good politician, you pivoted.
Yeah, yes, and I got the thumbs up and I got to go. There's about 70 of us at the orientation for our little region from where we were all at, the Katy, Texas area. And they told us, but before they started orientation, they had 2 guests that wanted to speak to us, Jesse Moss and Torsten Tilo, who's the director of photography for the film. And they basically said, hey guys, we're making a documentary on this year's session, and we're looking for about 4 subjects to follow. And if any of you guys are interested in it at all, please hang back and after the orientation. And again, at this point, Apple's not involved. A24 is not involved. Nobody has any idea what this documentary, we don't know if it's for internal use for the American Legion. We don't know if it's a passion project that'll sit on a hard drive for 30 years. We don't even know what it's going to look like when we get there. But, we go to the orientation and about 12 of us end up staying behind and sitting at this table. And the director and Jesse and Torsten are filming us with a camera and just filming us talk to one another about what we were looking forward to at the program in a month. And there were some kids who were being very animated for the camera and not being very natural with it and trying to kind of get the camera's attention. Whereas me, at that point, I think I was a lot more shy than I was now. And I was very reserved. And I gave my 2 cents when I thought it was appropriate. And I'll never know for the rest of my life why that caught Jesse's attention, because I was the most unassuming character at that table. And so I get up to leave and he stops me. And he says, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And I said, sure. And he starts asking me a bunch more questions in private. And then finally he asked me, can I take you out to eat? And I'm like, of course, stranger, you can take me to, you can, and so we did. And he got to know me a little bit more when we ate at this barbecue place, and then took me to my grandmother's apartment. And we filmed an interview on the steps of my grandmother's apartment, which is in the film. And at the end of that interview, an hour later, he finally just asked me, would you like to be a subject in this film? And I said, yes, whatever that means.
First of all, what was it like having the cameras following you around? Was it intrusive? Did you, after a while, forget they were there?
The first time, it's very awkward and uncomfortable. I remember the first time that I had the camera on me, and when I was walking around, I'll never forget it. I was sitting down on the couch talking to somebody at the campaign office, and Jesse just tells me, pretend that we're not here. And then after he says that, Torsten moves in and puts the camera this close to my face while I'm talking, and I start laughing. Right. And I said, "You can't expect me to. If I turn my head left, I'm going to hit you I'm going to hit you." But gradually, I became just kind of forgetting that it's there. It's just I've been surrounded by phones my entire life. Everybody's always taking pictures and videos and stuff like that. This is just a bigger camera, a more expensive camera. And so I kind of, by the second day, had gotten pretty used to it. I had a designated camera person and boomstick person with me from the hours of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I don't ever interact with them on camera like in the film, but in periods of downtime, formed a really good friendship with them throughout the week, because we're walking 10 miles a day in the Austin heat, and they're doing that while trying to film with these 30-pound cameras and stuff like that. And so if I were doing something uninteresting, if I was just sitting on my phone, not doing anything, and on the other side of the room, there's a big commotion happening, they wouldn't hesitate to drop me and go film what they were doing over there, right? Because you only have one chance to film everything, right? It's a documentary. You have one chance, and if you miss it, it's gone forever. You can't get it back. And so they would film all the speeches. So I think people maybe the first time kind of tilted their head at me a little bit. But when they're filming all the speeches and everybody running and all the antics and all the rah-rah stuff, and they're filming a bunch of B-roll of everyone, I would probably say everybody who went to Boys State is at least in 3 shots of the film.
All right, so tomorrow Steven's going to explain in more detail how the Boys State program is structured and how it felt interacting with thousands of his peers at the program. All right, 50 seconds on the clock. Let's get it all set, Ian. One of those days, yo-yo. One of those days where none of us can read today. Yes, because you have to read fast. And if you still can't read now, then we're blowing up.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
My brother got his green card in 2012 and registered to vote, but never voted. Could it affect him renewing his green card or becoming a citizen?
It's always possible, depending on if he claimed false claim to U.S. citizenship.
Did the bill back better pass or not?
No.
Can I use approved voucher to go to work or school?
You can, sure.
How can an undocumented person get a tax ID?
File a 1040 return, attach a W-7.
Can a church file R1 for someone after 4 years?
After 4 years out of status, no.
How long does it take to get VAWA?
3 years.
Why is CIS taking long on the 601 waiver?
Because of COVID, Donald Trump, and lack of staff.
Do you actually get a receipt notice when you send in an RFE?
No.
Can I travel on my paper that they gave me for removal of conditional card?
Yes, with an expired green card.
Woo! Angie was giving longer answers.
Yes. And there was one question.
I know there was.
There was one question can you work with the VAWA?
Can you use approved VAWA to go to work or go to school?
You can, the VAWA doesn't entitle you to go to school or work, but if you can work or go to school, by all means, do it.
Right.
Nothing bad's happening to you.
Woo!
There you go. Balloons, finally. And even apple pie offering us an apple pie. I thought she was going to say, you guys did such a great job, apple pies for everybody. She just said, yeah. All right, comments of the day.
Right.
Comments of the day.
The first comment of the day.
Oh, okay.
First comment of the day comes from Marge Higgs saying, happy hump day to all those who were humped in their minds and to those that were in real life.
All right. Did she wish you a happy hump day then?
Humped in real life or humped in their minds? Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Bravo, yo, bravo.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I got hooked both ways. Yes. All right.
All right. Our second comment of the day comes from David Berseral saying, waited for my work permit as my Christmas gift.
All right. I hope it comes.
I do too.
I hope it comes.
Yeah, waiting for it. All right. And our third one comes from Rosemarie Barnes saying, hey, Brad Squad, I truly love this program. It's immigration education, and you laugh at the same time, even though I'm sick and stressed waiting for my daughter's interview day.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I'm glad we bring a little joy to you.
Yeah.
Don't stress out. It'll happen. I promise.
Yeah.
It will eventually happen.
All right. And our last comment of the day. Senior Designer Edition saying, I just want to shout out that this is the best show ever. I really can't wait for the show to come on, even though I don't have an immigration question.
There you go. I tell that to people all the time. There's so many people who watch.
There are.
You know, what do we say all the time? Come for the immigration, stay for the fun.
This is true.
Right?
There you go.
We'll see you all tomorrow for more fun. It's Wacky World News Thursday. See you tomorrow. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.